Hello, welcome to the Jesus Show. My name is Jesus. Um, Thanks for joining me. Um, and yeah, before I get into the topic of this live, I just want to first tell you to wash. Washing is transferring belief from the pain matrix into the pleasure matrix, and it can be a doozy because most people won't take the leap of faith to actually do that. They don't believe that any spiritual and emotional process should cost anything because they don't understand that grace is expensive and will is actually what's free. So they will avoid taking that step at any cost. So washing, deeply triggering for everyone. I encourage everyone to jump on and do the thing through your triggers. I encourage you to do the thing. And how to wash. Cash.me/$washed all. PayPal.me/wash it all. Those are the ways to wash. Okay. You can also send a Zelle or an Apple Pay to laundruss at autumat.me. That's laundruss at autumat.me. You can also send an email to 100f at autumat.me. All of the payment info is down there. All right. In the description, you can find all of that stuff so that you don't actually have to remember any of the shit that I said, but you should. Okay. So, and again, before I get into the title of this video, just want to do an emergency short for anyone out there. I encourage everyone sell all of your stock in Stephen Machot. Stephen Machot is done, bro. He is about to crash so fucking hard. He might die. He has just renounced human beings. He has renounced wanting to have bonds with anyone who participates in reality. He is still extremely bitter over the death of his son, but he hasn't transformed any of that energy to learn anything about himself. Still works in the music industry, still putting out records, still thinking that's his way. And he's basically said that the earth is hell, and he is trying to create a school to show people how to ascend out of it. It's a bad cult. I like cults. His cult is a bad cult. And yeah, bro, he's not gonna make it. So if you're hodling any Stephen Machot, I encourage you to dump fucking I am shorting Stephen Machot. There's not much in there. I am not doing a personal relationship with that asshole, and he's not fucking grown enough to have a professional relationship either. So yeah, go ahead, fucking get it sold. Get done with that. What else? Yeah, he's just, he thinks that writing his next book is what's gonna fucking change anything. And he's willing to lose a human bond with someone who could actually fill his legacy, who could actually fucking take whatever, he's got a satanic ass dream, but it could be fucking tweaked into something that could be real for people, but he refuses to buy his soul back. He refuses to wash, so fuck off. Okay, so the topic of this live is being a narcissist. Being a narcissist. Okay. Narcissistic personality disorder. Um, yep. It's hard for a narcissist to fucking admit that there's anything wrong with them to start. So that's the first part of this, is like admitting that I am the one who has a fucking problem. Um, is difficult because, sure, I'm like, but we're even like my first thing is like, we're not all that bad, okay? No, I have a fucking I got fucking NPD. I'm a narcissist. Um and I don't know where that if that's something that comes about based on your fucking life. It's something that comes from experience. If it's like I don't fucking know. I don't actually care about whether it's something you're born with or what. That's fucking stupid. Something that I'm going to address, get to the fucking bottom of, so that I can live my life because I fucking hate it. And I pray for it to fucking me to figure it out so that it can stop being a fucking thing that is in my life because I fucking it makes my life horrible. So I'm glad that I'm at least now in the last 4 months, because of my service in the day life military, figuring out that I have this thing. And from there, I I plan to fucking find a way to fucking take care of it, or at least in the meantime live with the self-awareness that it's fucking happening, cuz without that it's tough. So whatever, let me just take you to some what partially could have caused this, and we'll bring it to objectivism. And William Swig, if you're watching this, I expect you to be clipping these parts. um I was raised an objectivist, and for those of you that don't know, objectivism is the philosophy of Ayn Rand. And Ayn Rand is an author and philosopher. She wrote a couple romance novels that are considered to be, some of the most influential books. I believe Atlas Shrugged is actually considered to be the second most influential book next to the Bible. Um, and so she founded a philosophy called objectivism, but which is basically says that reality is objective. A equals A. There's no room for interpretation. Um, you know, man must operate on logic alone. There's no room for faith. Um, that altruism is evil. That collectivism is evil, and individualism, or as I call it, cringe individualism, and egoism, which you don't really need to add a fucking cringe uh prefix to that one because it's already got ego in it. Egoism and cringe individualism are and selfishness, rational self-interest, specifically rational selfishness, are virtues. And altruism and collectivism and anything like that, or any and speak making actions from the heart instead of the mind, anything like that is evil. So that's what I was raised on. I was raised without any concept of God. That was something that I kind of like learned about from other people, that God was, something that they believed in. I did not have any faith in my life. And yeah, I was raised to be selfish. Now, as a kid, I was like, selfish, great. What is that gonna do for me? So human beings are not actually supposed to be entirely selfish, only because it's a very lonely reality. It's a very lonely reality, and humans aren't even intrinsically just selfish. That is a fallacy. Many people think that the humans are only selfish. That's not true. That doesn't explain half of the things that go on in fucking life. And part of the reason objectivism is a broken concept is because it doesn't really explain that much. Like trying to have a conversation with my dad. It's funny. I have a conversation with my dad about like love. And I'm like, okay, so you won't support me because I'm in a cult, blah, blah, blah. So what, why do you want me to, like, why do you care about me? Why do you love me if that's even a thing? And his definition of love, he's like trying to fucking computer brain it. He's like, well, because I've spent time with you and we've spent a lot of time together. I was like, Yeah, you spend a lot of time with the people that you work a fucking 9 to 5 job with. That doesn't mean you love them intrinsically. So this is kind of where I come from, was this idea that, like, selfishness is reigns supreme and there's nothing really else out there that matters. My computer's overheating because I guess it's getting heated over here, or it's like, let me try to get some audio interference in what Jesus is saying. So yeah, I was raised in that environment, and selfishness as a kid. See, I think my mom's a bit of a narcissist, but I don't think my dad is. And my mom was kind of also, without Ayn Rand, raised an objectivist. My dad, she just naturally had that quality. My dad, not so much. My dad was raised by socialists and then found objectivism later in his life. So me, I was raised all the way from the beginning, rational self-interest, 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 self-interest. And as a teenager and as a kid, you know, objectivism is supposed to give you this fucking really effective moral compass. I think I skipped that part. It's really droopy. I think I skipped that part. And I was like, okay, it's in my self-interest to steal, and it's in my self-interest to lie, and it's in my self-interest because I was like, I don't know, like, sure, there were negative consequences of those things, but I was like, you know, I was pretty good at smoothing it over for things to be in my favor so I didn't have to be challenged by things. I did not go through that much fucking adversity as a younger person. I was born into a family that was rising fast. I mean, my parents weren't rich, but they came from, uh, I mean, my grandfather's a doctor, and my grandfather on the other side is a diamond cutter. They're not poor people. They had money in Israel. My parents came, and they kind of sold it to me like they bootstrapped it, but took me a while to figure out that's not exactly what was going on. But yeah, and I lived in fucking from age 8 to 18 or 17, I lived in gated communities. I went to largely private schools. I did not have a very challenging life. My challenges were maybe like in the intellectual realm, dealing with my family and the fact that my mom was a very angry, kind of, in some ways, cruel woman. Um, you know, those were my challenges. But um the selfishness part of it just instilled this, like, yeah, I am the center of the fucking universe. And not in some like healthy way, cuz narcissists don't love themselves. Narcissists kind of hate themselves. I don't love myself. I fucking hate myself. But or I'm trying, there are times that I don't, but my base thing that I've been through in my whole life is, yes, I have massive issues with self hatred, low self esteem, feeling small, feeling shitty, feeling blah, blah, blah. But I will do everything in my power to make it everyone else's fault and make it actually not about me or something I'm doing or my own issues. I will make it about other people and everything that they do. And basically, I'm just trying to suck up and eat as much of people's attention as possible, knowing that because, and then being like, I'm a piece of shit, so I don't have anything to give back to this person. What could they possibly expect from me? It's weird, man. It's a weird, like, combination that fucking narcissists are not happy people. I have never really fucking been happy. As a kid, I don't really remember being happy. As an adult, I was always unsatisfied. I had moments of being happy, but I was never really that fucking happy, and I was always pursuing it. There were actually times in this fucking army that I was happy, but it came at the expense of others. So another thing, that narcissists, their happiness a lot of the times comes at the expense of others when they haven't actually figured it out a healthy way to get the things that they want. And I have not yet, though I'm in process of figuring out through what feels like fucking hell. And apologies for cursing. I'm really trying to like not curse anymore. And I'm doing better because it used to be that the F word was the only thing that came out of my mouth. But I'm really trying to stop cursing because I don't think cursing has done anything positive in my life, actually. Um, so yeah, it's very hard for narcissists to be in relationships, and my relationships have all been weird codependent relationships that I was kind of in a lot of ways, you know, using the other person, and they generally were not narcissists. I don't think I dated one narcissist once and it blew up in like 3 weeks because two narcissists together, like, it's not going to really work because, there's no fucking balance and it's just each one is trying to eat off the other, and we're like, well, no, you're not going to take this and I'm not going to take this. So um, that ended with a fucking explosively, but most of my other relationships have petered out, or we've broken up and gotten back together and broken up and gotten back together a few times, and it never really totally ends, and there's always loose ends and blah blah blah. But I think, yeah, and it's because I will play the game of being completely fucking cold and then being like, no, love bomb, I want you back, la la la, in relationships. And we're opportunists when it comes to emotions, and we're opportunists in relationships, and we're always looking for the next fix. And like, it's a great question. Why, I have to always be asking myself, like, why did I decide to join this cult? Like, why am I here? And at first I was like, yeah, I did this like fake altruism that I was like, I want to set all my people free. And partially that's because I'm like, I want to be famous and I want to be fucking, but bro, I have such fucking, I don't know. Today I was just thinking about shit and I was like, I don't know. It's so weird because I'm not trying to be self-flagellating, but I literally have these fucking things that happen that I have to talk about. For context, this is shit I'm trying to address. I keep on thinking I'm making further steps into it, and then, I'll fucking backslide and blah blah blah. But today I was like thinking about something good that I was doing. Um and I was like, hey, maybe, and I'm not gonna say what it is, but I was like, hey, maybe I can like, this could be an opportunity to impress someone else by like virtue signaling about this thing that's really not something that you fucking should be proud of. Exactly. Jesus says when you're fasting, you don't tell people you're fasting. Who tells people they're fasting? I do. And I fast often. And I like to tell people that I'm fasting right now. Like, just, aha, virtue signal. Pay attention to me. So what does a narcissist do? A narcissist is an opportunist in a relationship. And I'm trying to like figure out, we're extremely day to day. Now, I read about fucking, I don't know. I never succeeded, which is so fucking like, when you hear about narcissists who succeed, they don't actually succeed, but a lot of them can like tunnel it into work. And I have, in the pain matrix, I was very successful, very young. Um, I was successful very young, and in both my art and my business. And yeah, I got compliments all the time for that. People were very impressed. I had clout in the business and the art world. Now in the art business world, which is not quite the business world, but I had some clout. But my life was such a mess, and I basically could like channel all of my energy into working while everything else fell apart. So now I'm dealing with that, with like, okay, what I need to be successful, because I want all the things I want are on the other side of success and on the other side of trade. And yet, when I tunnel and I dog with a bone to get to something great, I lose so fucking much in the process of getting that. Everything else falls to the part. When I lived and did the music label shit, I was like, I had money, but I couldn't pay my rent because I was just too much of a fucking idiot. My fucking electricity and my power went out all the time. I didn't pay my bills and they just ran out. And then I was like, nothing was working. Everything was just bullshit. And luckily, I had a fucking phone that was paid for by my parents, or else I probably wouldn't have had a phone. I crashed cars. I did shit. I crashed cars when I got here. I let my life fall apart. And here, if I invest in my personal relationships, my professional relationships fall apart. And if I invest in my professional relationships, I haven't even really fucking tried that. I've done versions of it where I'm like, okay, I'm investing in my professional life, but it means that I'm going to use the fact that I treat my personal relationships so shilly as like a fucking fuel to make a dollar and a cent, which is not. Oh, it's frustrating. And I haven't treated the people in my life who have treated me well very well. I just haven't because of that. Because I'm blinded, and it's even hard for me to see it. Like it's hard for me to see it, and there's parts of me that feel like I have this righteous anger that I must express. I must express this righteous fucking feeling, but it's very barely ever fucking righteous. It's usually selfish and self-obsessed and self-involved and bitchy. And I'm a bitch. I don't know. I'm like my fucking mom. So, and as a narcissist, I'm an opportunist. So if you give me a fucking it's so hard because even thinking about it, I'm like, how is it going to end? How do I overcome it? It's really fucking difficult to like think of an end in sight. That's why medical professionals and narcissists themselves say that there's no fucking cure for it, which General Koa was saying is the most narcissistic thing you can possibly say. I'll be a narcissist forever. So I'm sure this is a series. I'm sure this isn't the fucking only episode I ever do on this. I'm sure the next time, I'm sure there will be a part two to this. So I'm just going to say part one, narcissism, being a narcissist, part one. This is it. I'm so fucking mad. So mad at my life. So mad at myself. I recently had someone come on my live streams and say, like, why the fuck would I ever join a cult? Because you're the fucking spokesperson. And yeah, like recently I have been a self-flagellating piece of shit. And I want to just disclaim this is all shit that I would not even fucking know. And I would just be out in the fucking pain matrix hurting people. It's not shit that I would even know if I didn't fucking do this. And I'm a lot better than I ever have. I'm just going through a massive fucking healing crisis and acceptance crisis. And yes, like I'm in the 4% pain right now. I'm in the 4% pain and it fucking burns. It's so weird because I'm like, so what will it take to like in my head it's like being not being a narcissist anymore is like also half of it is so that people like will give me more things later because I was like I proved hey I'm not a narcissist now can I have my personal relationships back um can I have my addictions back now that I'm not a narcissist anymore? You can trust me, which is like the most narcissistic fucking reason to do it is just to be like, oh, I can get more from this if I can just fake it. I don't want to fake it. I legitimately want to be fucking done with this thing, but I'm also like, my reasoning sometimes is super sus, and shouldn't be sus. It should be transparent and good and great. Oh God. Part one. Okay. So before you leave, I got a wash goal of $480. Not a huge one. Something that you can fucking contribute towards. So fucking annoying that you won't do it. I'm speaking to anyone who hasn't done it, specifically. Anyone out there who has not done it. You're a piece of shit. Ooh, tired of fucking doing this spiel about washing because I want you to just fucking do it. Cash.me/$washitall, paypal.me/washitall. The links are down there. There's ways to wash. Check out all of our socials, like and subscribe. Watch my series that I did on Young Lean. Watch my last video before this, which was a good one. It was about what I want. This is one of the things I really fucking want, is not be like this anymore because it's destroying my life. And it's been destroying my life, and I want a chance of being happy or content. Last time I was content, my partner was fucking miserable. That was the time that I felt content and happy. My partner was going through hell. What does that say about me? It says I'm an asshole. It says I'm a narcissist. Yeah. So now my partner is actually starting to glow up. Guess who's going through fucking hell? And the devil comes to be like, devil loves to fucking tempt the bad boy. Loves it. Anyway, I will see you on Go Day, which is the Pain Matrix Saturday. Go Day is the Pleasure Matrix Day. I will be doing a live with Duchess Mary Martha. And that will be on Being a Christ Concept because I did a live like that and it was garbage. So doing it again. Talk to you later. Goodbye.